Maryam, can you start the recording, please?
It's done.
Okay, so the recording will be made available for you later on the Pulse platform and the Pulse YouTube channel. So please, Mehdi, you can introduce yourself and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Enrique. So, hi everyone. So, this is Mehdi Batti. So, I'll be your trainer for today. So, I'm expert in entrepreneurship. So, I handled several training of trainers across the continent. So, I worked with, with different institutions of the honoris group, including IMSET, Collective Lab, and then the business school. So I'm glad to be with you and to share some of to say tips to be able also to go into your training with your students with more how to say structured approach in working on specific topics related to innovation. So let me just put my screen, share my presentation. I don't know if you can see it. No, not yet. Can you see it? I think I need to put it on full screen. Can you see it? Excellent.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you.
Excellent. So our session today will be like on this bucket of trainings. I mean, from idea to market, we'll be focusing on introduction and innovation. These are the agenda for today. So it's going from distinction between invention and innovation, creativity in action. We'll have like some activity, group activity, identification of types of innovation, entrepreneurship, also how entrepreneurship is the heart of innovation. And then for the quiz, I think I moved it within so to make it more I put the quiz within the presentation to make it more interactive. So, okay, let's start with the first topic. So, how to distinguish between innovation and invention. So, I'm referring here to Joseph Schumpeter, who was one of the economists who worked on the innovation concept, and then he also managed to provide us with this background definition. So let's start with this one. So invention is the discovery of new scientific and technical knowledge, while innovation is like the commercialization of any new combination of new material and components. So it means like in terms of products, introduction of new processes, opening up of new markets, or the introduction of new forms of organization. So innovation is the creation of a new idea, product, technology, or process that didn't exist before. It's about originality. It's about technical and scientific knowledge. It may or may not have a market application yet. So is it something that the world has never seen before? So one of the examples that we refer to it like the first electric light bulb by Edison. So it's a new device that made electric lighting possible. For example, gene editing technology. So it's a scientific breakthrough that enabled precise genetic modification, or a novel chemical formula for biodegradable plastic. So it's a new material, but not yet commercialized. So what often happens is like many inventions sit in labs or patent books because they don't automatically solve a customer problem or fit a viable business model. So they are new in nature, they are scientific, they are technical, they are original, but they don't necessarily satisfy a need or are or fit or have solve a customer problem or fit a viable business model. So let's See, while innovation is the process of turning ideas, whether new or existing, into solution that creates value. So typically through market adoption. So they focus on value creation, not just novelty. So it's not just a new thing, but it's something that creates value and creates value for the customer. It involves customer, it involves also business model and scalable as well. So uses design, marketing, operation, and strategy, not just focused on technology. So does this create new value for users? And will people adopt it, pay for it? So let's see, kind of example. So Apple iPhone was not the first mobile phone as an example, or touchscreen, but a breakthrough in user experience and ecosystem design. Uber didn't bring new technology, just a new business model combining GPS technology, smartphones, and payments to create this ride-sharing platform. Grameen Bank microfinance model. So it's financial innovation that enabled millions to access credit, which is so it's not credit was already existing, but microfinance and this solidarity between people getting loans created this new way of lending and then microfinance that was suiting them in the business of furniture maker in Indonesia, in Bangladesh, sorry. So let's try to come up with some kind of invention, an example of invention and innovation based on what you learned so far. Just, use the chat so you can share your thoughts with one example of one invention and one innovation, Let me see the chat.
Emira says
Okay,
phone and
phones.
smartphone. Phone is invention and smartphone is innovation, I guess.
So let's hear from Emira. Okay. So phone is
What about electricity?
Electricity, okay. It's the invention.
It's a question.
Yes. We need just to come up with one example of one invention and one innovation. So electricity is invention, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what is like the innovation?
Maybe new ways to get electricity.
Yes, could be durable ways like yes.
So
Okay.
Mehdi is saying invention, the light bulb was created. This is an invention, and the innovation is LED technology to improve the light bulb, for example.
Okay.
Yes.
So the light bulb versus provide artificial lighting. Okay. Okay.
We can talk also about the invention of internet.
So internet. So like the internet that was invented by the military,
exactly.
It's ARPA, that was created for some specific purpose, that was somehow created in labs. Then it was turned into innovation, and then it evolved into. Okay,
exactly.
that's a very good example. Excellent. So the car was invented to enable faster land transportation. Innovation, electric cars improve transportation. So I would say like let's go back like to the definition. So in general, so invention is something that is novel, that is original, that technical or scientific, but does not have a market application yet. So it could be a good idea, but it's not solving a real world problem and does not have a market. While innovation is like how to turn these inventions into value creation tool, how to solve a problem, and at the same have a market. So let's continue. So let's see this example of a quiz. So which statement best describes innovation? Creating something entirely new, applying ideas to create value, discovering scientific principle. So you can put your answer in the chat. B. Okay. B. B.
Ideas to create value.
More. B. Sorry, guys, you're good. Actually. Okay, excellent. So I mean, I think the right answer was applying. So like one, let's okay. Sorry, this is like okay. one. The answer is like applying ideas to create value. Okay, excellent. Let's go to question 2. So why is innovation critical in entrepreneurship? It ensures patents. It transforms idea into marketable solution. It focuses only on creativity. B. Okay. Excellent. It transforms idea into marketable solution. Excellent. So let's go to question 3. I think questions are too easy, or you are too good, or both. Okay, which of the following is an invention but not an innovation? The first electric car sold commercially, the concept of electricity, smartphone with AI features. Let's see the answers. B. Okay, let's see. So absolutely. So the concept of electricity. So electricity was created in lab, but it's still an invention until it was turned into lightning for people in their houses, or like, and the other uses of electricity. So I mean, electricity by itself, that when it was invented in the lab was an invention, but when it was turned into providing lighting and powering other electrical appliances, it became an innovation. Okay, at that time. Okay, good. Let's move. Any question at this point?
No, thank you.
Okay, so why this is critical, in entrepreneurship training. So entrepreneurs believe often they need a technological invention to succeed. So I mean, there is this focus on new novelty, new technology, but in reality, innovation is what drives business success. So it's the application of invention and having like solving a real world problem and having a market. So most successful, for example, startups didn't invent new technology. They just innovated in terms of business model, customer experience, or distribution. So for example, Airbnb did not invent property rental. They innovated how people access and trust the short-term rental market. So they created this platform that really connected offer to demand and made this done in an easy way using the platform with the online payment and so on and so forth. So invention without innovation rarely reach the market. So a brilliant invention can fail without a defined customer segment, without a viable business model and clear value proposition, and without a go-to market. So for example, many university patent, like their patented innovation, never get commercialized because they lack a customer problem or market fit. So it's really important to go beyond having an invention that translates mainly in scientific or technological novelty, but to have in mind that what matters most is has to solve a problem for a real customer and that have market. Okay. So innovation promotes practical thinking. So usually when we train and we teach entrepreneurs, we need to ask them, what problem are we solving? Who will use it? Who will we deliver it? How we will deliver it sustainably? Is this something customer will adopt? So the shift, we need like to shift the mindset from technology first to problem first, entrepreneurship, in order to help wannabe entrepreneurs to really get on track. I mean, and shift their mindset from this focus on technology to problem solving. It also encourages resource efficiency. So innovation often requires much less capital, more creativity, and faster experimentation. So a startup with limited resources is usually better off innovating around known tools than trying to invent completely new science. I mean, like bringing in creating a new thing, new products takes time and a lot of resources, while like using existing technology or existing inventions and use them to solve real world problem cost much less. Changing an existing process to make it more efficient or changing a business model would be, in a creative way, would bring you more money than like trying to come up with something that could be new, novel, based on a new scientific research and technology, but does not really have a market or solves real world problem. Okay. So innovation is not the idea itself, it's the act of putting it into action. So innovation is not about a new idea, like it's not about invention, but it's an act of applying it to a real world problem and creating a market. This was, of course, a quote by Peter Drucker, which is a management scholar who studied a lot English. So now let's move to group work activity. So let's try together to identify a recent innovation that you use often and try to think what problem does it solve, how it creates value, how it brings value, and why does it work. So maybe we can, I don't know if we can do it in pairs, or like we can split the group into rooms so they can talk to each other and come up with an answer. Is it possible, Enrique, to maybe come up with create breakout rooms for at least 2 to 3 groups, and then we can hear back from the groups? Okay, you can agree on one example and discuss among each one of the group, and then we can come back to discuss it. Or we can do it individually. I mean, so who wants to try to discuss a recent innovation that you use often? Do you want who wants to give an example that we can use for this, to practice a bit what we learning today? Okay, let's see in the chat. Anyone? Okay, smartphone. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so what problem does it solve? The smartphone. Let's see example. Okay, communication. Okay, excellent. Communication. Okay, so it's a problem like the lack of communication, or like making communication easier, I think, because we were communicating even before. Maybe we are communicating less now with phones, but I mean, we're communicating in a different way. Okay, so it is actually communication between people remote, I think that's okay, exactly. So person that are not in one place. Excellent. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, what value does it bring? So most probably if you have to share something with someone who is in a remote place, you can either call him or go and meet him. So I believe it solves all of our lives problem. Almost, not all.
I think
But I
Mehdi
mean,
wanted to speak. I don't know if you saw it.
sorry.
Mehdi, Majdi. Let it be
Yes,
Majdi.
yes,
He
yes,
wanted to
Majdi.
speak.
Yeah, yes, please. Sorry.
He lifted his hand. Maybe you don't see it because you're
Yeah,
presenting.
okay. So thank you for alerting.
No worries.
Majdi, please.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hello, hi, Majdi.
Hello, how are you doing? Thank you, sir, for your sharing till now. Really appreciate that. Well,
Thank
do you hear
you.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, if you allow to me, and sorry for the interruption. What about the workshop? I just want to add something, if you allow to me.
Yes,
Well,
please.
what's about innovation? Maybe I really appreciated those days, which the digital wallets. That's mobile
Okay.
payments apps. They solve
Okay.
many problems that we can count in. And the problems of carrying cash and especially waiting in a long waiting queues. That solve a lot. And that's bring speed, security, and convince us to daily transaction to be easily and let us know what the gain of time is really is, especially with those apps. And this work, and they work because they combine smartphones, secure encryption, especially, and internet connectivity. It will not cost us a lot of things, just every tool that you use it in daily time. That's something
Excellent.
I'd like to share it because this is what make me impressed, especially this, there is a lot of startups try to work in this way and try to innovate this tools, and which I'm looking for in entrepreneurship specialist, an entrepreneurship dealing treatment. It will be the wallet who will be the first tool in our worldwide. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for sharing.
No, thank you, thank you. I like this example. So digital wallet actually it solves the problems of carrying cash, of needing to have always cash on it. It's very convenient, it's secure. So it's like if you don't need to carry cash, so you are kind of if nobody will can steal it. So it's kind of yeah, so a gain of time. So this is the kind of problems that creates a lot of value. I mean, you can save time, you can save cost, and it's a very effective way of handling transaction. Why does it work? I think it's easy. I mean, to use. It's something that that is very convenient. So that's what works. So excellent. So I think we got. I mean, the point now about like how this innovation like solves the real world problem, creates value for the customer, and that's also why it works. Okay. So I mean, we have a lot around us, a lot of innovations. I mean, like technological innovation. So you see, for example, the mobile phones that empower like online access to. I mean, the use of mobiles have been that went from internet that went to mobile application, and this allowed for more and more to develop a different generation of innovation coming up with this technology. So I mean, internet as well empowered also like e-commerce, and this has grown over time. So let's see now. I mean, if there is no question, let's move now to the innovation workshop. So that will allow us to basically deep dive into this topic. So let's try to identify a real need that allows you to innovate and develop your training methods. So, I mean, Basically, when you will be interacting with wannabe entrepreneurs, it's try to start with some kind of discussion with entrepreneurs to push them to really focus on a real need, that starting from the need and trying to come up with innovation, so you can at the same time practice what you preach. So at the same time, so for example, you can look at student behavior, course organization, learning methods, technological tour, and recurring difficulties in your classes, as an example. And then you can, across those different aspects that you can relate to, you can identify a problem, area, or a real frustration to start. So you can set the stage by taking the teaching context as an example. That could be also something else as well. So you can start with real world problems around the teaching context. And then basing on that observation during the class, express the need in a clear sentence. So for example, your students like lose focus quickly during lectures, so they get distracted by so many things. It could be their phones, that could be their colleagues. So so sometimes they struggle to connect theory with practice. So that could be also some aspect of so that could be also something in this teaching context. Having like troubles connecting theory with practice. So maybe like coming up with a way of practicing that through examples or through real world exercise. So they don't need to participate verbally in large group discussions. So sometimes also, that this is also an issue that certain in the teaching context, some have troubles like expressing themselves in a large group. So at least, and then through that, you can name a concrete educational need. So out of this exercise, so a real need, well identified, and then you can move to the next phase. So we start, as we say, we observe the teaching context as an example, and then we come up with several problems that could happen in this teaching context. So this to simplify this approach to turn need into business opportunity, and then move to a concrete real need, like moving from different problems and frustration and things like that, and then we move to a concrete need that needs to be fulfilled. And then how to turn this need into an innovation opportunity. So how you can satisfy that need by innovating. It could be using some kind of technology, it could be using scientific research, but I mean, how I can push, the discussion and the reflection around it into a search of finding a solution to a real problem, and how to turn it into an innovation opportunity. So this way you can enhance their engagement. You can make learning more active, because they will be relating to their own life, their own context, and this will also be very useful to retain knowledge for the long term. So, and will open the floor for innovation. So starting from the teaching context, issues, identifying real problems, and then how to turn this problem into an opportunity to innovate and to come up with an innovative solution that can find the market. And this will help open up the field for innovation. Okay. So Yeah, you can. So like now the idea is like how to propose a realistic solution that can be applied in a class session. So it could be a new working method, a new learning tool, a different assessment approach, an interactive or hybrid activity, an educational ritual. So that could be depends of the problem identified. This could be some realistic solution that could be applied in the class session. So this is just to show that this structured approach starting from a certain context that the student to which you are introducing this concept could relate to, identify frustration, problems, whatever, and then among those problems, focus on one, and then move how to turn this issue into try to find an innovative solution. I mean, for that, a realistic solution that can be applied in the class session. And this way, I mean, I think this is a way to handle this kind of workshop within the class, and to end up with a 3-minute mini pitch. So like in which the entrepreneur, the future entrepreneurs, or like the students you are supporting to become an entrepreneur, to express the problem and the need they are addressing, the innovative solution, and the benefits for the students and the training, and then with the conclusion and concluding with a call of action. Any question at this point?
You can also use the chat
also
if you
write
want
some
to ask
question
questions.
in the chat. Feel free to. Okay, let me look at the chat.
No
Okay.
questions for now. Don't worry.
You can
I keep an eye on it.
Company, okay. You can use reward example of a company or startup. Absolutely. I mean, I actually I'm relating to the teaching context, but the easiest way, I mean, to start this kind of discussion. So it should be something, a context that could be used into which like the student can relate to, so he could understand, and then to stimulate the discussion. Okay. Okay. So what we have learned so far. So innovation often starts with a sample observation. It could be in the teacher, there's an example of a teaching context. So like looking at yourself, looking at your teacher, looking at the classroom. So creativity is not about inventing new things. It could involve transforming an existing use. Every innovative idea is based on real need and added value. And group work stimulates idea through the diversity of perspective. Okay. Okay, let's now try to identify different types of innovation. So, I mean, it's very important like to be able to understand through the discussion what kind of innovation we are working on. Is it a product, service innovation? So are we creating or improving of a good or a service? Is it a process innovation? So new ways or methods of production or distribution? Is it organizational innovation? So new management methods or ways of organizing work? Is it social innovation? So addressing the societal challenges in a novel way. Is it environmental innovation? So reducing ecological impact. Is it a business model innovation? So redesigning existing ways of creating, delivering, and capturing value. So this could be like taxonomy of different type of innovation that will help you also to discuss innovation with your students. So it's very important to have that in mind. to have this taxonomy of innovation. So that will help you also identify how to work further and how to develop how to guide the entrepreneurs in their ways of creating this innovative solution and to real world problems and creating market for them. Any question? Any example of social innovation? I mean, can you give example of social innovation that you know, or some of the examples here, examples of these types of innovation? Or organizational innovation? Let's see. Okay. Renewable energy. Okay. That's basically environmental innovation. So the idea of using renewable is like to have an efficient and clean energy. Okay. Organizational innovation and process are the same. I mean, process is more on the industrial process for production. Organizational innovation is mainly management ways, see new management methods. So like process, if you change process innovation, it's like you bring in, for example, you were using one technology for example, to create furniture, or you bring in new kind of machines. That could be more process innovation. Organizational is more softer than the harder part. So that's a slight difference, but an important one. Okay. Community food banks, they address food insecurity for vulnerable people. So I guess this is social innovation. Okay. Example of management flexible work schedule. Okay. So that's organizational. Organizational business model are not different. I mean, business model are more on they focus on the value creation. So value creation, and not only value creation, but I mean, value proposition, how to offer new value proposition to a client, value creation, value capture. And this are supported by somehow organizational innovation. So if you want to like, offer a new value proposition, behind that there might be some organizational innovation or not. So there is a slight difference, and then the value creation, how to deliver the value to the end customer, and then how to capture the value as well. So redesigning how a company creates, deliver, and capture value is very somehow different from organizational, but usually business model innovation includes some organizational innovation as well, but not only. Okay. Let me see the chat a bit. I think I cannot see here. Is there any message? Okay. There are also marketing innovation. Let me see. I mean, marketing innovation, we could like put it under actually under the business model innovation, because it falls under how we deliver value to the client. So I mean, it includes communicating with the client and the distribution as well. So it could fall under that bucket. Okay. Any more? Organizations to create value in the organization, try innovation. Absolutely. Okay. Innovation creates value, and the value proposition communicate that value to the client. Innovation creates value, and the value proposition communicate that value to the client. Create value, and the value proposition communicates the value to the client. Yeah. E-learning. So e-learning is an example of a new product or service. the microfinance company can be supposed as such. Absolutely. So microfinance came as a, yeah. Excellent. Okay, good. So I think you got the point here. So I think it's very important on being able to identify this type of innovation that will guide you, that guide also the discussion as well. Okay. So innovation is at the heart of entrepreneurship. Innovation, it's the spark. So it's the drive that transforms this spark into entrepreneurship, is the drive that transforms this spark into impact. So that's why entrepreneurship is at the heart of all transformation. So innovation is the spark. So like turning a problem into an opportunity to innovate and coming up with a solution. Entrepreneurship is like that. Is the drive that transforms this spark into impact. And that's why, I mean, entrepreneurship is really at the heart of major transformation. So let's go like to specific examples. So, I mean, Steve Jobs, I mean, most of people know him. I mean, he started his venture into his garage in California. And then he transformed the world. So, and then this really, Steve Jobs embodied this entrepreneurial spirit. So a simple idea turned it into vision that changed everything. He uses failure as opportunity to reinvent, creativity and diversity as the drivers of innovation, and collaboration as a key to lasting impact. So his journey reminds us that innovation often starts humbly, but it grows through courage, resilience, and openness to the world. So this is also an example of one a product. So for example, this Epson EcoTank, so it's a specific kind of printer. So it offers several sustainable and cost-effective printing solution. So it used a cartridge-free, so it's somehow innovative in a way. So you don't need to buy cartridges every time. So it has some kind of environmental aspect, but it has also some kind of economic aspect as well, because it helps, I mean, using this cartridge-free system that reduces the cost by saving on printing cost while offering 3 years worth of ink in advance. I mean, using this refillable tanks. So the refillable ink bottles bring different. It's an innovation for printing solution that brings some environmental innovation, but it's also cost effective, and then it gets rid of all this cartridge business. Okay. So innovation is a key driver of growth for small and medium-sized enterprises, as it enables the creation of product or service with high added value. So this is a quote from an article from the Revista de Management Comparative Management magazine. So I think also the reality and the different in our countries, I mean, of that makes SMEs at the heart of innovation, because most of our economies are driven by SMEs rather than big corporations. So, and innovation is really important for SMEs growth, and it enables really the creation of products and service with a high added value. So it's not about technology or like scientific research inventions, but I mean, it could be like existing invention that was invented elsewhere that could be also turned into solution for SMEs, that turned into solution by MSMEs that will enable them to growth, but also to create markets as well, offering innovative solution. So innovation helps company adapt to economic, technological, or social changes. So an increasingly digital world, I mean, with all these platforms, AI, digital technology. So entrepreneurs can no longer rely on the traditional model. They must invent new business models. So this is also an idea also that is explained in the article Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Company in a platform-based society. So that shows how digital platforms are redefining entrepreneurship. They transform the way we create, collaborate, and innovate. So I mean that as I said earlier, so this platform, AI, digital technology that they started as invention are being turned by entrepreneurs into innovation, and then this way, so it could be a new business model based on this technology as well. So, I mean, you can take any kind of business, traditional business in an SME, regular SME, and then use this technology to come up with innovation at different levels. So it could be a business model innovation. It could be also the other type of innovation, social innovation. It could be the different organizational innovation. It could be environmental innovation, product, process. So that's the key idea also that is in this article. But I think it's very important in our economies, and keeping that in mind is very important while you work with wannabe entrepreneurs, to have them like looking around and in this increasingly digital world, and look for ways of applying technologies, mainly digital ones, into local context, in SME context, to create a new solution, to innovate and create new innovative solution, and address some market needs. So also, I mean, it's very important to note that creativity is often what protects a competitive advantage. So especially in small business. So innovation does not arise solely from technology. Creativity is a fundamental pillar. So the ways on how you use technology is more important than the technology itself. So that's so using it using technology to create innovative solution is more important than using technology. I mean, but not having in mind that this to solve real world needs and having a market. One more idea is like entrepreneurs usually perceive innovation not only as a way to differentiate themselves, but also as a trigger for the entrepreneurial process. So the innovative idea is often the starting point of a business project. So starting from a real world need, looking at creating, finding innovative opportunity to innovate, coming up with a solution. I think it's the start of the entrepreneurial process and the entrepreneurial journey. So here we have one example of an example of a real world problem. So these are like kind of eco bricks made from plastic waste. So the innovation is transforming waste into building material. So this is also an idea that have been tested in different contexts in Kenya, India, and Morocco. And startups are creating building materials using waste. So there are some who worked on developing new bricks or paving stones using recycled plastics. So you see, like the real world problem is waste. So this is common in some parts of our countries and elsewhere. So starting from a real world problem, and then how to use this, how to turn this problem using new techniques, like how to say to turn plastic waste into building material. So there are like some techniques and technologies that allow this possibility of, for example, like creating a new building material using waste. So there was like some inventions that that enabled the creation of this innovative solution on turning waste into building material. At the same time, why this is, for example, a case of sustainable innovation. So it basically reduces plastic waste, provides a strong, lightweight, and cheaper material, and it creates local jobs. I mean, to collect waste, also in sorting the waste and in the processing. So, and it's a replicable solution in area where waste is a serious problem. So you can replicate it. So this is also opportunity. If you could replicate it, so it means that you can scale up your business, and that is around this innovative solution. So that's an example that shows how when we start from real world problem that is very very important, very also impacting the lives of different person, using existing technology or new technology, and then to turn this waste into building material, how it also creates impact on the local community. So this is the kind of businesses that I would personally I like, because they really fit for purpose. So they solve a problem, they create sustainable business. So sustainable in different ways, or scalable, sustainable, and at the same time innovative, while using some technology, but the technology is not everything. I mean, I think here is what matters most is like the impact, and then the impact that this creates. So let's hear more from the audience. So what do you think of all of that, of the example specifically? Do you encounter a lot of this kind of businesses around you? Yes, no? Let me see that. Can you see my screen? Let me see the chat here. Okay. Cannot see the chat. Yes. They create value. Okay, let me see. Not yet. Okay. The challenge is the sustainability of innovation. Okay, how to like stay sustainability of innovation. Okay, eco-friendly material. Okay. So, okay. So, I mean, the answer is kind of not really. Yes, but not really. So how would you like approach this? How to how to ensure that in the future, and then through your teaching, you get to the point that you enable more and more sustainable business creation? How would you approach it? Any idea? CSR can be processed by innovation. CSR can be processed by innovation. It works because it's low cost and easy to make. Okay. So you are referring to the example of creating bricks out of waste. But I mean, how we can see more of this kind of businesses, like impactful businesses that turns problems into solution and that make money out of it, they are scalable. What would be like the process? I mean, through what we learned today, like this structured approach to look at the context and start with coming up with identifying like different problems and then focusing on one, and then how to come up with how to turn this problem into an innovation opportunity, and to come up with an innovative solution, and then turning it into a business. How you would like stimulate this kind of reflection when you teach. Any idea? So let me go back to that part. I think it's very important to. Can you see my screen? Okay. The context. So we took the teaching context as an example. So it could be very useful, like to develop this observations capacity through like focusing each time on one aspect of your context. It could be like the environment, it could be like the teaching context, could be the family, it could be any part of it. And through this observation, I mean, identify real world problem, real frustration, real needs, then help, I mean, articulate this real need. Of course, there might be a lot of problems or frustration, but I mean, the second phase, I mean, like to really help to formulate the need in a, I mean, specific way, but also, I mean, explaining it in their own words. So I think that's important for this journey, like starting from observing in different contexts. Could be teaching, could be any context, but something that the wannabe entrepreneurs can relate to. Then help them like to formulate this in simple words and being very specific in their own words. And then how to start from that real need, real problem, how they can turn it into an innovation opportunity, how they can find innovative way to solve it, and imagine a simple yet innovative solution. And then the fifth step is like how to pitch it, how to present it in front, and how to defend it in front of an audience. And I think this way you will come up more and more with real world project and businesses like the one we shared. So starting from this, developing this capacity of observation, formulating real world needs using their own words, and then as I say, observing something that they can relate to, formulating it using their own words in a very specific, how to find ways, I mean, how to turn problems into solution. I mean, and this is also the innovative aspect, like this, how to transforming this need into an innovative innovation opportunity. So open up the field for innovation. So making it really interactive, and try to brainstorm and to push like the students to search into specific maybe technologies used in some other fields, how they can apply to that fields, to that specific problem, and to come up with an innovative solution. It could be a new working method, a learning tool, whatever. I mean, these are like examples in this educational context, and then to build this mini pictures. It's very structured, but I think that would help you like to come up with more and more innovation, like this eco bricks made from plastic waste. Okay, I think for the quiz, I mean, I inserted it in the presentation, so I will just open the floor for if there is any question, and then we'll conclude. Okay.
Yes, Sonia, I think raised her hand.
Thank you,
Okay.
Enrique. Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Mehdi. If I can
Yes.
add to the points,
Sure.
the previous points, we recommend to the startups or to the students to create adaptable business models, to design flexible business models that can evolve with technology and markets, and to test ideas through pilots and prototypes before scaling, to maintain the sensibility of innovation. So this is a point that we recommend to students to guarantee sensibility of their product.
Absolutely. I mean, having in mind that what we have, but it's a journey. I think it's a kind of I'd say having this structured approach and then coming up to the pitch and then getting feedback will feed in like the discussion on how to make this better. So I think that's very important message that you shared, that they need still to stay flexible, so open to change their innovation, their innovative solution, and specifically, I mean, be open to change. As you said, at this stage, it's still a prototype that would benefit from feedback and will allow to evolve. And it's very important, like to have that in mind throughout the different steps that I shared earlier. Question, comments, reactions?
Please use the chat if you want.
Please. Yes, I can see there is okay. Simulation and real cases. No, let me see. No, I think I'm not looking at the right time.
That was previous.
Yeah,
that was previous. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, simulation.
It was from a previous. Yeah.
Absolutely. You remember that the first step was like develop this observation. So I think observing the environment. I mean, that could be also real example. So they can. Real world examples that they can relate to. So otherwise they will say, no, this is happening elsewhere. This is not relevant for our context. This is not the case. So I think real cases, that's very important. And then this identifying early on in the process, trying to develop this observation and then looking to real world problems. That's really important. Simulation, I think, also throughout this structured approach, I think they will be able also to simulate like real world business solution that are innovative. So that's totally true. Okay. We can invite an entrepreneur to present its real journey. Absolutely. So I think that's very good, especially inspiring. So if you want to do that, it's always good also to invite someone from the local community, someone who knows where they are. So it might make the experience and then this exposure to this testimonial very, very interesting and very engaging and inspiring. So that's absolutely. So you learn actually a lot because you know what's a real entrepreneur journey, how they started. So how they started, like by, for example, like observing a real problem in their own context, and then out of this context, how they. So usually people relate to their own personal problem that they wanted to solve through their product. So I think it's really inspiring. So upfront. So I think if you want to do that, it's usually done upfront. So if you are going to start this steps. You can start with the inspiration before even starting this work, the structured up workshop approach that were presented. So inspiration is very, very nice, especially when you have like people who really express themselves and their idea in an accessible way, and how to say, in a language that is how to which like the students can relate to. That's very example. So you don't need like very sophisticated or technological. It could be like even like an entrepreneur that succeeded, but by sharing their journey, I think they really prepare mentally the students to start their own journey. So I think that's really good. Okay. Any more? Yeah, by gamification as well, since motivates learners, esports students. Yeah. Especially, sorry, learners, especially students, gamification as well, since it motivates learners. Okay, yeah. Yeah, gamification also is a tool that is used in a learning and educational context that helps also to engage learners and students. So yeah, that could be also used as well. Excellent. So I think we have a really good feedback and reaction here. So I don't know if there is any specific question, but I think we really went throughout the material for this session. I think we went from the definition of invention to innovation and the difference between the two. We went through also the taxonomy, and then the way on how to organize a workshop to train students to come up with new business ideas, starting from their own context, identifying specific problems, focusing on specific ones, turning these problems into innovative opportunity, coming up with innovative solution, and then presenting them, getting feedback, and improving. So I think that's very important takeaway. And then why innovation is at the heart of entrepreneurship, and how entrepreneurship is very important for SMEs growth. And then by sharing this example of impactful business, and how we want to see more and more of those ones coming up from your trainings, inshallah. Any reaction, question? Excellent. So I really like this. So really, thank you very much for the interaction. It was really good. I mean, having this session with you. I wish you good luck. I mean, with your and your students. I hope your students will come up with great ideas and innovative solutions for real world problems. And you know, in our countries we have so many problems. So hopefully we can contribute to solve some of them, and coming up with innovative solutions that we can scale and we can create some value out of them. So thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing some real solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Professor
Mr.
Batti,
Mehdi.
for
Thank you.
interesting presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a very,
Bye-bye.
very good presentation, impactful examples, and of course, you're encouraged to put it into practice in your classroom. The recording will be made available. So, Mariam, you can stop the recording.